Have you ever spent an entire evening highlighting a textbook only to stare at a blank page the next morning when the quiz lands in front of you? That moment of frozen panic is not a sign of low intelligence. It is the natural result of studying in a way that fights the brain's default settings. Within 24 hours of first meeting new information, the average person loses up to 70% of it, a loss curve documented by German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus in 1885 and repeated in labs ever since. The curve is ruthless, but it is also predictable, which means it can be hacked. Picture a leaky bucket. Pouring more water into it, cramming, only increases the flow out the holes. Switching to a better bucket works, yet most learners keep clutching the same cracked container because no one handed them another option. The 5 techniques ahead are better bucket. Each is validated by modern cognitive science practiced in high-performing classrooms from Osaka to Oxford and stripped down here to the essentials you can apply tonight. First method, active recall. Reading or re-watching feels productive because the words glow on the page or screen, but recognition is not retrieval. Real memory forms when you shut the material and force the brain to pull the data out, the same way a muscle grows by lifting, not by staring at weights. Try it right now. Pause the next sentence for 10 seconds and list every detail you remember from the forgetting curve paragraph above. Go. Those 10 seconds just triggered long-term potentiation, the cellular basis of learning, strengthening synaptic pathways far more than another reread ever could. Research by Roediger and Karpik in 2006 shows students who tested themselves retained 50% more after 1 week than peers who restudied. The protocol is simple. After any input, close the source, write or speak everything you can. Check for gaps, repeat. No fancy apps required, a scrap of paper works. Second method, spaced repetition, the antidote to the leak. Memories do not fade in a straight line. They decay quickly at first, then level off. Reintroducing the information right before the predicted drop, day 1, day 3, day 7, day 14, resets the curve to a higher, flatter trajectory each time, cutting total study time in half while doubling retention. Think of watering a houseplant. A little on schedule keeps it alive, while a deluge followed by drought kills the roots. Free algorithms such as Anki or SuperMemo calculate the ideal interval automatically, yet the low-tech route is equally effective. Mark the next review date on your calendar the moment you finish the first active recall round. Third method, the 1-minute pretest, a tactic hidden inside Japan's Kumin worksheets but largely ignored elsewhere. Before touching new content, spend 60 seconds attempting to solve or explain it. You will fail, by design. That failure primes the brain to notice patterns during the actual lesson, a phenomenon psychologists call generation affect. In a 2018 University of California study, learners who pre-attempted physics problems scored 30% higher on finals than control groups who received immediate explanations. The pretest creates hooks in memory. Subsequent information has something to hang on to, reducing slip-through. Fourth method, interleaving or the deliberate shuffle. Most students practice 20 fraction problems then 20 geometry problems because it feels fluent. Fluency is deceptive. The brain craves novelty and challenge. By mixing problem types, fraction, geometry, fraction, ratio, the prefrontal cortex is forced to reload the correct strategy each time, strengthening discrimination skills. A 2014 meta-analysis of 186 studies found interleaved practice raised exam performance by an average of 0.25 standard deviations, the educational equivalent of moving from a B to an A-. The switch is easy. Instead of finishing one exercise set before opening the next, rotate every third problem. Fifth method, environmental cueing, the cheapest performance boost available. Neurochemical research shows that the context present during learning reappears during recall. The same desk, smell, or background hum can act as an external hard drive. Olympic memory athletes exploit this by mentally walking through familiar locations. Everyday application, pick one consistent study spot and one odor, peppermint gum, coffee, rosemary oil exclusive to that task. Before an exam, reintroduce the cue. In a 2019 Northumbria University trial, students who chewed the same flavor gum while studying and testing improved recall by 24%. The techniques work solo, but stacking them multiplies the affect. Picture a relay race. Active recall hands the baton to spaced repetition. Interleaving keeps the brain guessing. The 1-minute pretest sets the starting blocks, and environmental cueing greases the track. Together, they convert the leaky bucket into a sealed tank. A practical nightly template looks like this. Arrive at your cued location, trigger the scent or sound, pre-attempt tomorrow's problems for 60 seconds, open the book, study in mixed clusters of 3, close everything, spend 5 minutes on active recall, schedule the next micro-review in 3 days. Total added time, 8 minutes. Measurable gain, 40 to 70% less forgetting after 1 week, according to composite data from 10 spaced repetition trials published between 2010 and 2022. Skeptics often ask whether these hacks scale to complex subjects like organic chemistry or foreign language grammar. The answer lies in granularity. Break a reaction mechanism or verb conjugation into the same 5-step cycle. Pre-test, draw the electron flow without notes, mix 3 mechanisms at once, recite from blank paper after 20 minutes, revisit the deck on day 3, and keep the rosemary oil exclusive to OCM nights. Medical schools from Vienna to Cape Town now embed Anki-based spaced repetition in their curricula. Students sit final exams with over 10,000 self-generated cards. Yet average study time drops from 3 hours to 90 minutes daily because each card is filtered through active recall and interleaving by default. Another common worry is tech overload. Algorithms help but are not mandatory. Index cards obey the same calendar. A kitchen timer substitutes for Pomodoro apps. A library corner replaces curated playlists. The critical ingredient is disciplined adherence to the cycle, not the container. Start small, choose 1 chapter, run the 5-step relay for 7 days, then measure the difference with a self-quiz. Most first-timers report that previously elusive details, valence numbers, vocabulary, genders, historical dates, surface automatically, almost embarrassingly fast. Remember, the forgetting curve is still there, quietly plotting against every new fact. These methods do not eliminate decay, they outrun it. Like upgrading from a horse-drawn cart to a bullet train, you cover the same distance in a fraction of the time with fewer breakdowns. The students you admire aren't gifted, they're simply operating on a different track. Tonight, pick 1 upcoming test, lock the relay template into your calendar, and let the curve chase you for a change. When the next blank page lands in front of you, the answers will already be seated in long-term storage, waiting for the starter pistol of your pen.